Hello, everyone. We are so happy to have you here today for another student session. My name is Dakota Gates, and I am a second year at USD studying engineering with a focus in business. And some things I'm involved with on campus are Torero tour guides, student ambassadors, Alpha Delta Pi sorority, and Less Than Three Hip Hop Club. And in today's student session, we have lovely Isabella, and we are going to talk about the East Coast. We're doing a series of regional videos so that, students coming from different regions can kind of have a feel for how someone else's transition was coming from that same region. And we are so excited to have you here today. Do you want to introduce yourself and just give a little information about yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name's Isabella. I'm originally from Connecticut. I'm also a second year here at USD, majoring in international business, minoring in law and ethics and economics. I'm involved in Phi Alpha Delta, which is the pre-law fraternity on campus. I'm also involved in the Torero tour guides, Torero ambassadors, and all that lovely jazz.
I love that. Okay, so just jumping right into it, did you know that you wanted to go out of state for college, or how was that whole decision-making process for you?
So, against my family's wishes, I did not apply to a single school in state. I knew I was going out of state. I knew I wanted to get away from the New England area, the colds. I really wanted warmth. Um, I applied to a few schools in Pennsylvania, one in New York to give my mom that little drop of hope that I could stay close, two or three in Florida, and then three on the West Coast. I had never been to California before until I visited USD and a bunch of other schools, but it was really somewhere I definitely saw myself. And how could you be mad about the sunshine? I mean, coming from the East Coast when we have all of the seasons, I definitely was into the warm weather all the time.
Yeah, that's definitely an amazing thing about San Diego. It's always warm out, even in the winter. What's some advice that you'd give someone coming from your home state or like region in general? Was there any like major difference that you'd want to like give some advice on?
I definitely didn't notice a difference when I came to California. Like when I moved in, I feel like there's when on your move-in weekend, there's so many different people from so many different areas. It's just like a big mishmash of everyone kind of coming together. But I definitely noticed it when I went back home for like our first break on Thanksgiving. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, that's weird. Just different mannerisms people have. People drive way faster out here. That's something that was definitely different. And just like kind of navigating around was another thing I had to get used to. Really big highways that they call not highways, they call throughways, parkways, freeways, whatever they say. So I'd say highway, and people would be like, "What are you talking about?" Some advice I would say would just to be kind of open-minded and ready to try new things, especially coming from so far away. You're gonna have to branch out a little bit. That's kind of you're coming out here, you want to branch out, I would say, and just be adventurous and try to get something out of it that betters you as a person.
Definitely. And honestly, I can even relate to the fast driving. And I'm from Los Angeles, so I'm only like 2.5 hours away from San Diego. But it's even different from like 2 hours away. The driving and like the highways and stuff, I had to get used to that too. So that's really funny. But is there anything that you really wish you knew about either California or USD specifically that now when you look back, you're like, whoa?
Something I wish I knew probably would have been kind of the academic wise. I'm a first generation college student. So coming into school, I kind of didn't know what to expect out of the curriculum, out of the course loads, things like that. So I kind of went in a little bit too hesitant, I think. I only took 4 classes my first semester when I definitely think I could have taken 5, which is a normal course load here at USD. Um, I was I think my high school well prepared me. I took a lot of APs, so I felt as though I knew enough. I just didn't want to set myself up for failure taking too many classes. But I think our first year teachers that you have for most of your classes really do a good job of knowing your level and then getting you to the level you need to be at to have success throughout the rest of your USD career. So I definitely would have faith in yourself and just be prepared. You got into USD, so you are obviously well equipped to be here, and then just trust that.
Definitely. And I don't know if you could say the same, but like I also had those same hesitations. And because you're like, you don't make your schedule that first semester at USD, when they sent me my schedule and like I was taking an evening class, which I'd obviously never done before because high school is a very set schedule, like earlier in the day. I was like, I cannot do this. Like, I don't, and like taking 5 classes with a lab too. I was like, this does not seem right. But really, like, all your professors know that it's your first semester in college. They're very aware and like don't want to make the coursework way too much for you. And they're super understanding. Like, I had one professor that would like barely give homework because she was like, I just want you guys to relax about this class. Like, would it make you feel better if everyone got above like a C or a B? And she just like, even the little things that she said, like she'd bring us donuts on like Mondays just to make it better. So I feel like they really do like ease your transition a lot. So I totally get where you're coming with that.
Definitely.
Is there anything that you miss a lot about home that you maybe didn't realize that you would miss? Or have you found a way to fill that gap?
So I didn't think I would miss seasons, and I really don't miss winter, but I do miss like the fall, all the festivals, all the carnivals, things like that. That was just a really fun time for me. I think that I never really processed that I wouldn't be in Connecticut for that kind of throughout my college career, because we do get a Thanksgiving break and we do get like a winter break for Christmas, but you're not home when like the trees are changing or like the big
Yeah,
E is happening. So some way I kind of filled that with USD is actually a super fun little cute town called Julian, about an hour and a half, 2 hours away. And me and all my roommates went apple picking there. So it was a little bit like home.
that's so
I
cute.
definitely miss all the colors. The East Coast is just gorgeous during the fall. But other than that, I don't miss the winter season. I can deal without that one. But yeah, that's just kind of one thing that I really did not expect myself to miss, because I was so ready to go to warmth, go to warmth, and go to warmth, that
Yeah.
you don't realize the changing of the colors and everything is something you see every year of your entire life until you just don't see that anymore.
Right. I've always wanted to experience seasons. I think I need to go to Connecticut to
Definitely
join
would
all
get your fill. You would
that.
definitely get that for sure.
That's so funny. Yeah, I feel like a lot of USD students head up to Julian and experience the seasons because I feel like that's something everyone wants and it gets us so like festive for like the fall. Or honestly, I feel like USD does a good job with holidays. Like I'm obsessed with the like Christmas light, like tree lighting
Mhm.
experience and stuff like that. So,
Your themed dinners as
oh, the
well.
best.
I miss that so much.
Do you have a favorite themed dinner that we've had?
They had a Star Wars themed one, I think, near Christmas, and they had a dark chocolate fountain, a milk chocolate fountain, and a white chocolate fountain with like cake, marshmallows, Rice
Yeah,
Krispie treats, all the fruit you could possibly want. And I think that was the highlight of my first year at USD.
that sounds amazing. Yeah, I'm obsessed. Those are always like, even though it's like not a huge deal, it's literally the biggest deal ever. Like
Mhm.
I that makes me so excited every time we have a themed dinner.
Definitely.
So like transitioning a little bit more to maybe like organizations on campus and stuff like that. Do you have a specific place on campus or organization within campus that you feel is really like home for you?
So I'm kind of split. So I'm really involved with Phi Alpha Delta, which is the
Mhm.
pre-love fraternity like I talked about before. I'm actually running for their another position on their executive board right now, and
Awesome.
I'm really interested in the law field. So that's
Mhm.
somewhere where I kind of connect on the more academic side of USD. But then on the other hand, with the more social student life, I love Torero ambassadors. I'm a part of the tour guides now. I'm part of out of state ambassadors, and I'm also a part of Olay Ambassadors, which is like our first year weekend, kind of that, all of that. And I just, both of those have been so inclusive for me, especially ambassadors. We're such a big group from all different student life, and we
Yeah.
come together in such a good meshing way that it just makes me feel really happy anytime we have meetings. And I miss those in-person meetings when we had all 100 of us in our
Mhm.
OLA meetings, and we would do icebreakers and you would meet new
Right.
people. And it was just such a great thing as a freshman to join. I'm so happy I stuck with it.
Totally. And such good food too. They always have
Yeah.
food for us.
Definitely one thing about USD, everywhere you go, you could probably eat for free. If you go to any
Yeah,
meeting during the day, they usually have food.
definitely. But you mentioned the out-of-state ambassadors, and I was just wondering, like, so basically, for those of you who don't know, We have student ambassadors at USD who connect with potential or admitted students, and they can really answer any of your questions. I didn't have anyone from my high school besides one girl come to USD, so I definitely use the student ambassadors as a resource. But we specifically have out of state ambassadors, and I was wondering, like, what kinds of activities do you do with them, or like, are you just connecting with students from your area? Like, how does that all work?
Sure. So, kind of my role right now is just a member of OSA. I basically get a spreadsheet full of students from the region. I'm actually a region leader, so I kind of distribute that to all of the other people
Yeah.
coming from Connecticut, New York, those areas. Um, so when we get our lists, we have like your phone number, your name, your email, and we usually like to give little text messages. We usually call you first and be like, "Hey, congratulations on getting admitted to USD, and you're coming. We can't wait to see you," type thing. And then from there, this year, we set up a lot of Zoom calls throughout the summer. So I actually got to see them face to face. Other times we do summer send offs, sorry, where you kind of do just like little family. You can bring your family, other families are there. We have host families from out of state, and it's just kind of a little meeting for you before you come to USD. We actually have those all over the country, not just for out of state students. But that was one thing that I really liked about OSA, because we kind of touch out to students before they come to USD, but then we're also a resource for them when you're at USD. So
Yeah.
right now, we are actually planning like a virtual game night for any out of state student, not just out of state ambassadors, just to kind of build a little bit more of that community. And we're going to try to separate it by region, have some cool like tally boards to get prizes sent out and things like that. We were in person. We actually did a regional volleyball game tournament type thing.
Awesome. Yeah, that
So
sounds so
that
fun.
was super fun. But that community is such a great and growing population on campus that I think it's really important to kind of stick together, because they're my little bit of home. Whenever
Yeah.
I'm really missing Dunkin', they'll go drive the 15 minutes with me to go find a Dunkin', or just talk about things that you miss from your hometowns and they actually get it. Because someone
Definitely.
from Washington or Kansas isn't going to feel the same things that we're feeling when we're in New England or on the East Coast.
Definitely. I feel like so many people are a part of OSA. Like
Mhm.
anyone from out of state is a part of one of these groups that just like, and they talk about it all the time. So I think it's really awesome that USD like is able to do that for you guys. And would you consider this like your biggest support system on campus, or do you have another organization that you really go to if you ever like need anything or, you know?
I definitely think ambassadors as a whole is a really good support system, but I also just have such a good group of friends that are involved in so many aspects of campus. I'm personally not in sorority life, but almost all of my friends are. So just those group of girls that I get introduced through them is
Mhm.
also another support system. And I think USD as a whole is just really strong in our community sense. We're not a super big like, oh, you need to be in a sorority to have fun or
Yeah,
to succeed. You can just meet all these different people, and everyone is always so nice and inviting. And I think that was one of my biggest things coming to USD that made me feel so comfortable and just supported by everyone.
totally. I can definitely relate to that. And how did you know that you made the right choice by attending USD?
I've actually had like little moments here and there where I've looked back and just went, wow, so glad to be here.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to go to school on the East, not wanted to go, but I had the opportunity to go to school on the East Coast and play volleyball at a D1 school. And
Wow.
then I had the option of coming to USD. So it got down to like the second week of April, and I was like, oh my gosh, May 1st is coming up. I really need to decide. And I loved USD, but I also loved playing volleyball. But USD also has intramural and club sports. So while they weren't going to take a short girl from, not even, I'm not that short,
Yeah.
but for a middle, I'd be kind of short for the West Coast. But I would be able to play on the intramural team or the club team if I wanted to. And that just kind of got me to USD. And now that I've been here, we were walking to the SLP, which is our student life pavilion, our main dining hall, one day. And it was my whole suite. It was like the first probably 3 weeks into school. We had
Yeah.
all just started getting like real homework, real assignments. We had
Yeah.
tests next week. We were studying, and we were just walking to the dining hall, and there was just the USD gorgeous sunset. Like
The
the school
best.
was pink, the palm trees were glowing, the beach is like right there. and we all just kind of looked at each other. And I loved my group of friends that I had my freshman year. They were amazing. My whole suite got along so well. I
Nice.
was so lucky. And we kind of just looked at each other and we were like, oh my gosh, like we made the right
Yeah,
choice. And that was kind of my first moment where I realized USD was where I wanted to be, and I really haven't looked back since. I haven't questioned anything, and I haven't had anything that made me even think about questioning it.
definitely. Oh, it's so nice. Yeah, USC sunsets are the best. I feel like anywhere you go, there's such a nice view of everywhere in San Diego. There's so many cute spots that like it just makes me so happy. So I can totally relate to that. Besides the seasons, is there something that you really love about your home state or region?
We have the best pizza and the best bagels. Like California can never compare to like a New York bagel, and Connecticut adopts so much of New York's food. We actually just Pepe's Pizza, I don't know if you've heard of it, just got voted
Mhm.
like #1 in the nation for pizza, and that's like
Wow.
in my home state. So that's something I definitely miss. But USD's dining hall has an amazing pizza oven that has a little bit more, it's not like New York style, but
Yeah.
it's pretty good, and that's definitely something that kept me kind of grounded for a semester when we were on campus and I was a freshman, and I probably ate pizza almost every night at
Oh,
dinner.
same. I think that's actually one of my favorite things in the SLP. Like I go for the pizza every other night. So good. So besides maybe learning how to make a good pizza or bagel, is there something that San Diego could really learn from your hometown?
Um, I feel like everyone thinks when you are on the East Coast, everyone thinks the West Coast is like super slow and everyone's really relaxed. But I think San Diego is such a fast paced and fast moving environment, but our
Yeah,
people are really relaxed. So I think that's a little bit of something, maybe just to like
totally.
slow down and enjoy what's around us. I have become so just oblivious to the gorgeous scenery we're around and the gorgeous areas
Yeah,
we have, um, that I think on the East Coast, people are like, oh my gosh, look at the trees, look at those hills. And I think
yeah.
out here, we're just so used to it now, especially that I've been here for 2 years now.
Mhm.
I feel like I've just fell into the same trap. So maybe just
Totally.
stopping and looking at the flowers and things like that.
Yeah. That's actually a really good thing to say. Like I haven't thought about that one, but I definitely agree. And last question, do you have a favorite memory at USD so far?
Favorite memory? Oh my God, there's so many. The one that first came to my head was our Ole weekend when we had that, as much of a rager as a Catholic school can throw, that neon
Yeah.
night. Um, it was just so fun to see like all of these college kids like basically at a high school dance again, and it's
Yeah.
on our big Kolaches Plaza, the grass field, and everyone, there was at that point like we had all just met each other. It was like the first night, and everyone
Yeah.
was so open to being like, hey, here's my Snapchat, hey, here's
Yeah.
my Instagram, that I think it was just such a bonding moment, I think, for all of us, and that
Totally.
just made me really happy, and that was probably one of my fondest memories besides the chocolate fountains. I really like our chocolate fountain. Such a foodie, and our dining
Me
halls are
too. I feel like everyone at USD is. We take food so seriously, and like there's so many food options on campus that I've never gotten like bored of the food or anything,
Mhm.
but like I cannot imagine being on a campus where we didn't have all those options because
Yeah,
all of us are so passionate about the food.
definitely.
Oh, well, thank you so much for joining us for this student session. We
Thank you
really
for having
appreciate
me.
all the insight you gave us. And for those of you watching, if you have any further questions, like please comment them down below. And if we have enough questions, we'll make another video or we'll just answer them in the comments. So yeah, feel free to do that. And thank you, everyone. Bye.